Hi guys, welcome to this episode where I will show you how to build my Steampunk Tap Handle for our beer taps. Okay, to start you will have to get yourself some 3D printed parts. You will have to get yourself a top piece looking like that. You will have to get yourself a bottom piece looking like that. And you will have to get yourself 2 cogwheels looking like so, and you will also have to get yourself 2 middle rings looking like that. And optional, if you want to go with the LED version, you will have to have 1 actuator looking like that, and you will also need a LED strip holder piece looking like that. Okay, let's start building. Now, except for these, of course, you will need some additional hardware. You will need an 8mm copper tube. You will need a 6mm threaded rod. You will need 6 of the end nuts. You will need 4 or 6, of normal nuts. You will need as well some washers. I only have 4 here, but you need 6. And if you are going to go with the LED operated version, you will also need a little 3mm screw that is also 30mm long, and a nut for that, as well as an additional copper tube in 6mm diameter. You will also need, of course, your LED strip. So this is a roll I have with LED strips. You can buy them like this if you want. You don't need a whole one, you only need a fraction of this, but we'll cut that to length later. You of course also need a plastic pipe, 32mm plastic pipe. And as always, when you're building a beer-related thing, it's optional but mandatory to have a beer glass and a beer. This time I'm going for a Punk IPA because I'm building obviously a Steampunk IPA, so to speak, tap handle. Okay, first things first, we need to paint these pieces. And we do not need to paint this one. It's the LED strip holder. It's going to be inside the tap handle, so you're not going to see that. This little piece, the actuator holder, probably not going to need to paint that either, so I'm just going to keep as is for the moment. However, these parts, I recommend to print these all in black, because then you can skip a step to, base coat them in black, because reasons. So I'm gonna make these 2 cogwheels in brass, and then I'm gonna make all these 4 pieces in some kind of copper. So let's start. Okay, so the LED version of this project, you will need to have a piece of a LED strip. This is a standard issue LED strip for indoor use. You can buy this online for very cheap. We will only need 5 LEDs for this, because the tap handle is just that long. So simply we just cut this to length, save that for a rainy day. And then this one. This will be the length, so we need to solder the plus and the minus and the data for this. And of course you need to have a controller for this, and I would recommend using an Arduino because it's very easy to use and you have a lot of already available examples and libraries that you can use to get this one running. Now we need to modify this just a teeny weeny extra. Now if you're not gonna have more LEDs in chain for this, you can just cut all of this out. But if you are like me and you want to have several, then you need to just make this a little shorter or thinner. So just cut out the end piece of the plus and ground. Just leave the data intact. This will become apparent in a second why I'm doing it like that. Now you will also need the 3D printed piece and the holder for it, and it's this one. And the side with a hole is the bottom, and the side without a hole is the top. So you take your piece here, you have to make a little crease about there. You remove the adhesive protection, put this into place. Now you can see why we're doing that modification here, otherwise it won't fit. So just make that stick there, and then you just push that up into the little notch here that we have already prepared in the 3D printed part. Like so. Because this is the data out, so we need to have a wire running down and back again. And then for the rest of these LEDs, you just put them firmly into place, going down like that, and give it a good squeeze. There, that ain't going anywhere. So that piece is done. Well, as far as mounting the LEDs. Now we of course need to solder wire to these. 3 there, power, ground, data in, and one up here, data out. So let's go and do that. Okay, first we have to put some solder onto the contact elements here. There. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now for the cabling. Now I'm gonna take my wires from a ribbon cable. You will need 4 leads for this. I want to have black for ground, red for power, and that leaves us with orange and brown. So we're gonna stick with orange as a data in and the brown for data out. So let's split this down there. That. And then we split next to the yellow one. There. Discard that. There's our 4 lead cable. Okay, so we start by splitting the leads. actually gonna just strip this one. There we go. Put that into place on this one. Strip back the other leads a little bit more. There. Perfect, that's in place. Okay, so now we just need to pull this into the little crevice that is here. These cables up the little cable hole here. Now I can easily see how long leads I need for these. I need to cut about there, I would say. Just leaving a little extra because you never know. This one as well. There we go. I'm gonna need to take these out again. That's a little easier. Split this one up. There we go. And then strip them. So now we just put these back into the hole. Black to ground, orange to data in, and red to +5.
Okay guys, that is it for this first part of the build. We have painted our 3D printed pieces and we have constructed our LED strip. So yeah, in the next episode join me when we put everything together to make the tap handle. See you there!